So if you're currently an agent or looking to get your license and jump into the real estate industry, these two real estate brokerages that we're going to discuss today on this video cannot be ignored. You will know about them. You will want to explore them and then make a decision as to which one is right for you. When it comes to these two real estate brokerages that we're discussing today on this video, I am one of the most qualified people to talk to or to listen to when it comes to deciding if I should go work at Real Broker or Keller Williams. So if you're a real estate agent that's been selling real estate for quite some time, or maybe you're just brand new, either way, these two brokerages cannot be ignored because one is the largest real estate brokerage in the entire world, and I happen to work there for almost 12 years. And the other one is much smaller with about 19,000 agents, growing rapidly. In fact, it's the fastest growing real estate brokerage in North America. By far, it's not even close. So honestly, you could argue that you couldn't have two companies that are on the opposite side of the spectrums in terms of where they're going. Keller Williams is losing agents for the last several years. So their agent count, which peaked around 180,000 agents, has now started to come down, and they are losing agents at this time. Whereas Real, on the other hand, has been around since 2014, but just went public on the NASDAQ in 2021 and is growing like wildfire, exploding its growth as the fastest growing brokerage. In fact, when I first joined at Real, making the move over from Keller Williams, there were only 6,100 agents across North America with Real. And now, about 20 months later, fast forwarded, there are over 19,000 agents, and we are close to hitting 20,000 agents with the company. So that is explosive growth. And the question has to be, why? What is happening at Real Brokerage to make this company explode, where you have multiple agents, hundreds of agents from other traditional brokerage brands leaving those brands and coming over to Real Broker? And there are a lot of reasons as to that. We're going to explore all of those on this video and more. Stay tuned. But feel free to call me at any point right here at the number 480-660-5974. I would love to have a conversation with you about my experience at Keller Williams and my experience at Real Broker. And as always, you can book a quick call on my Calendly link below. Okay, now let's get back to the video. Now, there are certain things that everyone should consider when looking to join a certain brokerage. Now, this may not be all of the reasons, but you have to look at these reasons here: the financial model, the fees and expenses to the agent, the support you're going to get, the leadership, the growth opportunity, the culture, the nationwide network or lack thereof, and all the benefits of what it provides. Those are just some of the things that you should consider when looking to make a move to a brokerage. And before we go any further, I want to say one thing, that I had a great time at Keller Williams. I really believe that everything happens for a reason, and my time at Keller Williams, when it occurred, was the right place at the right time for me. I grew a lot as an individual. Our team grew a lot as a team in terms of production and learning about ourselves, how to structure things properly, and serving our clients even better. So moving to Keller Williams back in 2010 was a brilliant move, one I look back on fondly, and I had a great time and I have many great friends still at Keller Williams. It is a great business. It is a great company. But I found myself getting a little bored, a little tired with the industry. Everything overall was just a little, and I felt like I was on an island by myself where I had to be the one searching out for all the different masterminds and support and like-minded people across the country to try to make myself better and better. And while Keller Williams did provide some of that on a national scale, and honestly, truth be told, I was looking for something with a better financial opportunity. And that's where Real came into play. But I didn't want to recreate the wheel. I didn't want to recreate my business. I have a great business. I love my clients. I've served them for a long time. I've been doing this for 19 years. So I didn't want to do anything with that. I want to continue to serve my clients, continue to grow with the business I have. But is there something more that you could also be compensated with while doing the same thing you've been doing for the years you've been in the industry? And that's where Real came in, where I had, holy cow, I have this opportunity where if I just do business as usual, helping my clients buy, sell, and invest in real estate like I've been doing for the last 19 years, but I still have the chance now, in addition to that, to make additional streams of income while doing the same job I've been doing, who wouldn't go for that? That's when the light bulb came on for me, and I made the move. So let's jump into the financial model, because that was the main precipice for me when looking to make the move. Now, I'd seen plenty of my friends and colleagues make a move over to EXP. EXP was kind of the trailblazer in the cloud-based brokerage space. So I give them kudos for that. And they made the move, and you just didn't know what was going to happen because there was the first company that went to that space. And are they going to survive? Are they not? Will it be sustainable, that type of model in the marketplace? I don't know. A lot of question marks surrounded that. And to this day, they've proven that it is sustainable, as that company has grown tremendously over the past 5 to 7 years specifically. But for a whole host of reasons, I didn't make the move at that time to EXP. And And I saw EXP do this with its growth model over that time. So I started sitting there going, is Keller Williams going to do any of that? I was hoping they would. And there were rumors that Keller Williams was actually going to go public, that Gary Keller was going to take it public, and there'd be some sort of stock that agents could now have ownership in the company, as well as people out in the public marketplace who want to buy shares of the stock as well, being publicly traded. This was a very exciting thing for me. I realized it kind of injected energy into me. I'm sitting there going, okay, great, this is going to be awesome. When this happens, I'm going to have an opportunity now, being with the company for over a decade and all this and all that. But it never happened. Now, going back to 2022, this is when all the rumors were flying about Keller Williams doing that, which was very exciting, but it never happened. And then simultaneously, I was introduced to Real. So generally speaking, the financial model with Real is that agents obviously have fees to pay to the company. You get paid off of a commission check when you help, obviously, a client buy or sell a house. You have the opportunity to be paid stock options and incentives, and you have the opportunity to make revenue share off the revenue that is paid to the company as a whole. Now, we take the same financial model of Keller Williams. Yes, you pay fees. The agent pays fees, of course, to the company, and you have the ability to earn a commission check that the broker will pay you. But you don't have the option for number 3 or number 4. Now, to be fair, Keller Williams does have profit share, because profit share is like a trickle of water out of a leaky faucet that barely drips once every hour or two, whereas revenue share is like a water hose just flowing out into your face, coming at you 100 miles per hour. That is the difference. I didn't realize that until I actually made the move. You see, I had been earning profit share for over a decade with Keller Williams, and it was nice. I'd get, a $30 check a month, maybe a $60 check a month, and if we was really lucky, I'd get a $1,000 check a month. But on average, I'd probably earn $2,000 to $3,000 a year in profit share. And guys, I run a pretty big team. We have 20 plus agents. So over the years, I have brought on a lot of agents to Keller Williams that even stayed after maybe leaving our team. And yet there was a profit share check of, on average, $30 to $40 a month in most cases. And another problem with profit share is that the market center has to be profitable, i.e. the office has to be profitable to then pay out profit share. If they're not profitable because maybe there are some bad decisions made by leadership, or maybe they're just having a bad month or quarter in terms of finances, whatever the reason may be, if there's no profit, there's no profit share. Now, on the flip side with Real, there's revenue share. So I'm not going to go into the whole model of revenue share because I have a video on that specifically you can check out right here, but revenue share is off the top. So it doesn't matter if leadership makes bad decisions. It doesn't matter if maybe the marketplace is just slow for that month or two, because the revenue share comes in and then the percentage is paid out at that point. And so you are going to receive that money no matter what off the top, and don't have to worry about what the expenses are for that business unit for that particular month. So there's a huge chasm between profit share and revenue share over here. And what's really great about revenue share is I can tell you exactly how it's going to be paid out. Real's revenue share formula is extremely simple, simply 5%, 4%, 3%, 2%, 1%. And obviously, again, check out our video I did on Real's revenue share specifically, because that breaks it down in detail. Whereas on Keller Williams, the profit share, I still to this day had no idea how it was ever calculated. It was a very complicated formula, one that again required the market center to at first be profitable before paying out any type of share to the agents within the company. So again, the big bummer of that is you could attract multiple different high producing agents that would come over to Keller Williams, and they're going to continue to close a bunch of deals. But again, if the rest of the market center, that business unit, was not profitable because you had a bunch of other agents that were not producing, or you had a bunch of expenses that were mismanaged by leadership, whatever it may be, you were not rewarded for bringing in and attracting those large producing agents. Whereas at Real, you bring those large producing agents and they do their thing. No matter what happens to the expenses or whatever may happen with the other agents that are not producers, you still will make the same amount of money based on the formula off those agents that came in when you attracted them to the company. So it's very much so you are in control of what you are doing when you bring those efforts in, and you're not relying on other decision makers and how they manage a profit loss statement or their expenses that will ultimately dictate the payout that you receive for your efforts of attracting agents to the company. So that in general is the financial model. But let's talk about fees and expenses. Now with Real, we know what those are. There's a one-time fee of $249 when you first join. There's an annual fee of $750 paid out over your first 3 transactions at $250 a piece. You have an E&O fee per each deal that you close of $30. You have zero, that's right, 0 monthly fees. So if you have a bad month or a couple months, you don't pay fees just to pay them, because you only pay when you play with Real. You have an 85-15 split, and what I love about this is everybody with the entire company is on an 85-15 split, capped at $12,000 for the entire year. And if you're on a team, you are capped on a half cap at $6,000 for the entire year. And then you are at a 0% on the split, 100% to you as the agent. Now, after you cap, you do have a transaction fee of $285 per transaction that can be split up based upon the split with you and your team, or as a team leader with you and your agent, proportionally as well. However you see fit, you can split that up. But the great thing again is with that transaction fee after you cap of $285, it counts towards something. It counts towards your elite agent status, in which if you do hit it, which is approximately closing another 21 transactions for the year, then you will be rewarded with $16,000 in company stock paid back to you. And then you have the opportunity at that point to teach in Real Academy and earn the Culture Award, in which if you do teach one class a month for the course of the year, so 12 classes total, they will pay you $8,000 in company stock for doing that as well. So you then earn $24,000 total in company stock, which only costs you a cap of $12,000 plus the $6,000 for the elite status, for a total of $18,000, but paid back $24,000 for all of your efforts. That's a pretty cool model. Now on the flip side, let's talk about Keller Williams and their fees. They do have an annual fee, which I believe is still at $25 for the year, and they do have a monthly fee. Now the monthly fee is going to be determined based upon your current franchise or market center that you are with as the agent. This is where it gets tricky because Keller Williams is a franchise. There are franchises all across the United States and the world for that matter, and each franchise owner can choose to run their business a little bit different as long as they fall under the general umbrella rules within the franchise agreement. And this again is where it gets tricky because every market center can choose to have their split be a little different than the market center down the street or in a different city. So for example, the monthly fee to Keller Williams Realty International, I believe is around $35, but many market centers are charging much more than that on a monthly basis. I've heard as high as $50 up to $150 a month based upon the Keller Williams market center you join. Now for that, you do get some technology that you can use. They have Keller Williams Command, KW Command, which is their CRM they created. But truthfully, that CRM is not very good. We were paying for it for years and it just never worked. In fact, we never could use it for one time for our teams because the team version wasn't even released that was any good at the time. But we had to use it for broker compliance and paperwork upload. So we did get some use out of it from that standpoint because we didn't have a choice. But the point is you do get something for that monthly fee, whatever it is, but most agents choose not to really use it. Again, on E&O is going to differ from marketplace to marketplace, but at my marketplace, the E&O was $50 per transaction. And so guys, we did a lot of transactions. So obviously if you do the math on that, you do 200 transactions, that's $10,000. Guys, I don't know an E&O policy in America with any insurance carrier that is that expensive for basic E&O coverage. So again, that is a profit center for the owners of the company that the rest of the agents were not privy to. Now let's talk split. The split is 70-30, 70 to the agent, 30 to Keller Williams for the basic agent with Keller Williams. However, based on the franchise owner in the marketplace, they will give some people, higher producers, typically better deals. I was on an 85-15 and then eventually a 90-10, but it took me years to earn that. When I first started out, I was on a 70-30. But they do have a capping model as well. The capping model at my market center was $18,000 plus $3,000 more on top of that paid out to Keller Williams Realty International. So again, at the height of my split, I was on a 90-10 split, but I still had to pay 6% in addition to that. So a total of 16% really to Keller Williams because 10% to the local marketplace and 6% to Keller Williams Realty RI. Now the local marketplace center was capped out at $18,000, but Keller Williams Realty International was capped out at $3,000 on that 6%. So hopefully you're following what I'm laying down here because it does get a little confusing. But overall, my cap was $21,000 for the year, with 18 of it being split at 90-10 until it capped, and 3,000 of it being split at 94-6 until it capped. Now my agents were on a quarter cap. So you think quarter cap, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, a quarter cap of $18,000 is $4,500, but they still also had to pay the $3,000 to Keller Williams Realty International, the corporate fee of 6% that we just talked about. So really their cap all in was at $7,500 for the year. And that was one of the best deals that we could find around with Keller Williams. So the minute we moved over to Real, not only did I get a pay raise because I went from $21,000 on the cap down to $12,000, but all my agents did as well. They went from $7,500 down to $6,000 to run away just for changing the name on the door outside. We had a huge pay raise for the year. So at this point, not only does Real have more ways to make additional streams of income for doing the same job I've been doing for the previous 17 years anyway, but they are also cheaper on top of it. This is incredible. This is a no-brainer. Okay, so now let's jump to the two things that Keller Williams agents always give me as concerns if they're looking to make the move to Real from Keller Williams. And they are legitimate concerns, and that is office space and an agent-to-agent referral nationwide network. So now let's attack one of those at a time. Let's go to office space. Now, again, Real does not provide office space. That is not part of the pro forma with Real, the business model. Again, because office space is one of the largest expenses that a company could possibly have, especially when you're in all 50 states and 4 provinces in Canada. Keller Williams, on the other hand, they do provide office space because the franchise owner of that marketplace, the office, provides the office. But again, the office space you get is just for a place to go and sit in the bullpen. If you want to rent a private office, you have to pay an additional monthly fee for that on top of your split. At least that's how ours was set up, and I understand most market centers are set up the same way. So it is a legitimate concern. Now with us, we are already outgrowing the market center and renting the offices for a monthly fee. So we went out and purchased our own office condo years before we even made the move over to Real, because we wanted to grow our team. We wanted to see it explode and have our own culture and not be tied down to whatever the market center had going on for culture and things of that nature. So we already had our office space. We weren't even using office space over at the Keller Williams Market Center. So it was easy for us to make that transition. For most agents, that's not the case. So for most agents, you will have to go and sign your own lease on a commercial office space somewhere, or maybe buy an office space. I would highly recommend the buy side. It worked out well for us. Our building has appreciated over 50% at this time since buying it back in 2017. So that ended up being a good move. Or the most simplistic thing you can do is simply go to a WeWork or Regus office space, some sort of shared office space where they have everything already set up for you. You just simply rent an office and you can pay for all the other things that you want on top of your business, maybe like copies, color copies, the conference room, but you already have a assistant, a receptionist at the front desk answering your phone in your name, white labeling everything for you guys. The phone system is set up, the mail is set up, so you can do that too, and those places are not that pricey. So that is a good alternate for office space. Or maybe the person you come over to Real with has office space like us, and if you're in our network, you can use our office space at no charge. So maybe it matters who you choose then as your sponsor when you decide to make a move over to Real, as that can play an important role when it comes to office space. Now let's go to the agent referral nationwide network. Now this is a big one because Keller Williams did a great job of having that national network, that national agent network, and having agents pass referrals between the same brokerage brand. This is a big thing that these agents have to overcome. But let me tell you this, Real has the same thing. There is something in Workplace, their online intranet platform, it's just like Facebook, and they have a referral group. It's called Referral Central, where agents pass agent-to-agent referrals, multiple, dozens and dozens of agents every single day, and it's only going to grow larger and larger as more and more agents join Real Broker. So depending on the size of the Keller Williams referral network they're in, then that could be a downside to do that. But again, one that will, I think if you take just one step backwards, you're gonna take 3 steps forward as Real continues to grow. You could be one of the first people in that network, that referral network with Real, and therefore get a foundational foothold, if you will, so that as the group gets bigger and bigger and bigger, as the company grows nationally and in Canada, you are more and more influential in that group to get referrals in your market. Now let's talk about training. Okay, now Keller Williams is known as having amazing training. In fact, they're known as being the broker that trains for free all the agents up, and then they leave and go to some other brokerage. That's not necessarily the fair representation, but it does happen a lot. And because of that, Keller Williams has missed the boat on that mid-tier agent, if you will, right? The one that's not brand new, but the one that is not maybe a mega producer, because there's a lot of mega producers at Keller Williams. And a lot of that comes because of the franchise model. Again, it's broken because you have an owner over here, an owner over here. We have several different owners just within Phoenix amongst the different Keller Williams offices, and that's just one city. So it's hard to continue fostering that agent from being brand new to getting into production to then being a mid-tier level agent doing some production, but not like mega style, and then of course going to the mega status. So by default, it's just kind of hard when you're that big as a franchise fragmented company to continue to provide service for that mid-tier agent. But at Real, we have amazing training as well. And the training, because it's borderless, because it goes to every single agent in the company, no matter what state or what city you're in, and it's one leadership group, not multiple different franchise fragmented owners that do things maybe a little bit different. It is continuous and it is seamless. So you can be a brand new agent, learn, become a mid-tier agent, learn, and find that next group of people to get you to the mega status agent with Real. They are everywhere. Everyone shares, everything gives away everything for free because the leadership at the top is what sets the tone. Guys, Tamir Poleg and Sharon Srivatsa, these two are incredible leaders and they are opposite in their own right. Sharon is that dynamic person who's arguably the #1 top name in real estate across all America today as it stands. He is dynamic, he is personable, he advises and coaches CEOs in other industries, and he takes all that knowledge and he gives it away to everyone in the real community for free. It is an incredible value, and because the model is a cloud-based model, it can be distributed like that through Real Academy or Rezen or Workplace or all the different platforms that Real has to support all of its agents. So I went from culture and just touched on leadership because leadership drives culture. And again, Keller Williams overall, for one of the traditional brick and mortar companies, has great culture. In fact, I would say Keller Williams probably has the best culture out of all the traditional brick and mortar companies. Gary Keller is an amazing leader in the real estate space, and he is one of the OGs, if you will, that kind of really took the real estate from the 80s into the modern era that we know today, but has kind of plateaued in the 2000 and teens, if you will. And now I believe that Real is positioned to now take the next wave of cutting edge techniques and marketing and things done with technology, AI, for all those agents into the future that are going to continue to survive and thrive. And last but not least, I'm going to end the video on growth and the growth opportunity. I think this is a big one and a one that cannot be overlooked. Keller Williams has plateaued. Keller Williams grew immensely in the 2000s and 2010s, if you will, into the largest real estate company in the entire world, about 180,000 agents. That is an incredible feat, one that I don't know if will be matched anytime soon, if not maybe ever, just depends. But because they have peaked and now are starting to regress, I don't know that that's going to be turned around unless they can change their entire business model around, and I don't see that happening. Why? Because they have legal contracts in place. They're called franchise agreements. So when you have franchise agreements, as the CEO, like Gary Keller, you give up control, a little bit of control, when you have franchise owners and you have franchises out there working under the same umbrella. You cannot change on a dime. You cannot pivot and based on your own decision, influence that and make it happen across the entire spectrum. You have to have franchise agreements, legal contracts, amended and changed, and that is extremely hard to do because you have different personalities and people who may like the way it's going and they don't want to change, or they don't want to change with the ideas that maybe leadership at KWRI have for them. So it's very complicated. Whereas with your cloud-based model, you are nimble, you are flexible, you can make changes, you can implement certain things, and it can flow to the entire company because again, it's borderless and there are no franchises. And so when you look at a company like Keller Williams, who trailblazed this thing up to 180,000 agents or so, largest company in the world, then you sit there and go, okay, now if you're on a different, better financial model for the agent and the company, by the way, where could that go? Could that company eventually reach up to somewhere close to 180,000 agents at some point in the future? It's possible. I know it's possible because Keller Williams did it. So there's proof of concept in the marketplace. Now, I'm not saying Real is going to be that company that achieves that one day. I have no idea. But what I do know is that Real has a lot of amazing things in place right now, and it's growing by far the fastest out of any other real estate brokerage in all of North America. So at some point in the future, if you are in with Real right now and you have this opportunity to help the company grow too, where you start receiving a revenue share, and of course, you're receiving stock for being a good producing agent, what would the stock do if the company continues to grow? Well, the stock will probably grow with it, most likely, if the company does that. And so the stock you buy today or the stock you get today for free as an incentive continues to grow, you make money on that. And then with revenue share, this is the big one, because if you are in early at 19, 20,000 agents and this company grows to 100,000 agents or more, boy, you are set up pretty. Oh, by the way, that was a whistle. There we go. You're set up pretty because organically as it grows, because the people you bring over, they'll bring over a few people and those few people will bring a few people and it just kind of expands beneath you and you didn't do that much more additional work. You just make sure the people you brought over are well taken care of and supported in every aspect. So I hope that makes a lot of sense. I think they're two fantastic companies. I really do. I spent over a decade at Keller Williams and it was a great decade where my career took off. It was the right place for the right time for the right type of market we were in. But now the market's changed. And I do believe that Real is the right place at the right time for the market we are now in, heading into the 2020s and 2030s over the next decade. I just think you have this dichotomy of the companies going in different directions because of the different models that were created in a different era compared to the era we're in today. That's all. So if you have any other questions about Real that I can help you with, I would love to chat with you on the phone or shoot me an email, whatever's easiest for you. Contact me at the information below, 480-660-5974. And I'd be happy to talk to you for as long as you want about Real Brokerage and my experience. And then you make the decision whether it's right for you or not. You can also go to growwithrealbrokerage.com and you can find out some more information right there. And you can simply sign up if you feel compelled to do so. And if you have me as your sponsor, I will be personally responsible to make sure you succeed when you come on over. And to never make sure you miss another video like this, just go ahead and subscribe, just smash it, or check out our playlist right here with other videos about Real Broker.